Welcome to Athletes Unlimited Softball on ESPN, presented by our official climate finance partner, Aspiration. Sunday afternoon fast pitch Series 2 of Athletes Unlimited AUX Softball. Folks, we are live as always in the softball capital of the world, Rosemont, Illinois. First game of this Series 2. Team Filler taking on Team Taylor. And folks, it's a matchup of two newly minted captains filling out their lineup card. Nadia Taylor's been a fixture with Athletes Unlimited, but folks, the first time in 4 years she's ever been a captain. She'll be matching wits with Andrea Filler. Filler had a monster week in Series 1, big-time offense, so she is a captain for the first time, making decisions for the next 6 games played. Athletes Unlimited Softball, folks, it's now in its 4th year. It's the sport that started it all. It is an innovative scoring system that kind of is the fulcrum of what we do. 42 world-class athletes divided 3 ways, 14-player teams for every series. We award points for everything. In total, really compact 2-week schedule where we will have one champion when it's all said and done. It is going to be a lot of fun, and it's always been a lot of offense. That was the big theme in Series 1. Glad to have you along for the ride with my partner, former Tennessee All-American Madison Chipman. I am Eric Collins, and yeah, let's double back to that point. Series 1, our minds were blown with how much offense we saw.
It was so interesting because typically you think at the start of the season the pitchers are going to be the ones that have the advantage, but in Series 1 it was all about the hitters, all about the offense. They were spraying the ball all over the field, and that's why you look at the captains for Series 2, the leaders in that leaderboard this week, all position players, all hitters, because of the offensive numbers that they put up last week.
Yeah, great point. Talking about one of those captains, Andrea Filler, captain for the very first time. Let's see how Filler filled out her lineup card. And she's going to have Haley McClenny leads things off. Shortstop Deluxe, Anissa Urtez in the number 2 hole. Former Florida Gator, Amanda Lorenz. We highlight Taylor Edwards because she had 3 homers in Series 1. Captain Filler hits 5th. Jesse Warren over at the hot corner. Rachel Garcia will pitch and hit for herself. Courtney Gano's at first. And the longtime veteran of professional softball, Megan Wiggins, is out in right field.
And I know we've talked all about the hitters, but of course we got to highlight some pitchers as well. Georgina Korig had some good innings in Series 1, and one thing that makes her so good out in the circle is she has such a wide variety of pitches that she's going to throw: a drop ball, a curve ball, a screwball, rise ball, changeup, all coming in there with pretty good velocity. That drop ball, something new that she's added to this season. Will even throw it for an off speed as well, but just that variety of different pitches that she can throw and how she keeps them on the edge of the strike zone is what makes her one of the top pitchers in this league.
All right, so the team out of the field, Team Taylor, may need to conserve a little bit of energy. They'll play 2 games today. First pitch of Series 2 is wide for ball 1 to Haley McClenny. McClenny checking in, 24th out of the 42 players on the leaderboard. Confident swing, 1-1.
It was interesting, Eric. I did briefly get a chance to talk to Nadia Taylor before the start of this game, just talking about how they're starting off Series 2 with the doubleheader, and her and Victoria Hayward were actually really excited about that because, in a sense, they get the doubleheader out of the way, then they can just focus 1 game at a time for the next 2 days of this Series 2.
2 balls and a strike. Court came on professionally a year ago this time out in San Diego. Our first edition of AUX Softball, and really performed well. Last year we were out in San Diego. Now back home here in Rosemont, Illinois, where all the other championship series games have played over the years.
Out in San Diego, too, it was very different because those games were being played on dirt, whereas here in Rosemont, it's all turf on the infield. So you'll notice a lot of the players wearing turf shoes and not having to wear metal spikes, and that makes a big difference when you're just coming off of the offseason.
Popped up, will it be playable? Made it 2 rows deep. So McClenny stays alive. That couldn't ask for much better weather. Mid-June here in the Chicagoland area. Hazy skies, but got a little bit of a breeze.
I think after Series 1, these athletes will take a little bit of a breeze compared to the wind that they saw just a couple of days ago. Those balls were flying all over the place. Outfielders having to make really good adjustments on those balls hit up in the air. Speaking of adjustments, we've already seen an adjustment made by the fans in the stands. That was a nice catch on the ricochet off of the wire up there.
A little bit low. McClenny showing you why she's one of the tougher outs in the world today. She has made Cork work right out of the chute. Into center. What a wonderful jump, Victoria Hayward. One down.
Might not be the result that Haley McClenny would want out of that at bat, but she saw a bunch of different pitches, and we already talked about one thing that makes Georgina Korek so good in the circle is because of how many different pitches that she can throw. And right there in that one at bat, Haley McClenny pretty much saw everything that you could possibly see from Georgina Korek in the circle.
Here's the veteran shortstop, Anissa Urtez. Urtez begins Series 2, 14th on the leaderboard. Three hits and 14 at bats for Urtez. Back in Series 2, Series 1. But whichever team has selected her in the years that she's played here with Athletes Unlimited, you really do get a great two-way player. Terrific defender at shortstop. And also very impressive with a bat in her hands.
Seems like she's getting stronger and stronger every year, and I know for her in the offseason, really working on that strength training was a point of emphasis for her coming into this season. Feels like she's the strongest she's ever been in her career. And here, having another good at-bat, another long at-bat too, starting things off for Team Filler. Court getting a couple of calls on the curveball outside. It's going to be a good day for the pitchers if they can continue to get those pitches that are a little bit off of the plate.
Sky to left field. There's some wind up there, but playable. Jasmine Jackson makes the out, 2 down.
Fielder, number 23.
So the good news for Cork, she's got a couple of outs. The bad news is both those outs have come on fly balls on a day where the wind is blowing out.
It does seem to be blowing out towards left field as well. I told you before this game started it would be a great day to be a right-handed hitter that likes to swing at pitches up and inside.
Amanda Lorenz almost never swings at the first pitch. She chooses to do so, may never do it again for the rest of the AUX season. She pops to second base, side retired. When we come back, Team Taylor heading to the bat rack.
Triples and home runs for 10, 20, 30, and 40 points respectively. If you have speed,
Welcome back, everyone. We have a half inning in the books. Team Filler, 3 fly ball outs against Georgina Korek. And now Team Taylor will head to the bat rack. This is how Nadia Taylor fills out her lineup card. Sydney McKinney, you got to be doing something if you're going to bump Victoria Hayward out of the leadoff spot. She has. Vic will hit in the number 2 hole. Nadia Taylor, the captain, pencils herself in the 3 spot. Deja Muli-Pola, Kelsey Stewart-Hunter. Delaney Wiz is out in right field. Shannon Rhodes, Kaylee Clifton, and the veteran Jasmine Jackson hits 9th.
In the circle, you're going to see Rachel Garcia for Team Filler getting the start today. had some really good innings again in Series 1, somebody that just adjusted as the games went on, got better and better, and you're going to see her throwing with really good velocity. She's going to bring it consistently in the upper 60, 67, 68 miles per hour. The one pitch that was working so well for her was the curveball. It has such great late break on it, especially to those right-handed batters when she's able to set it up with the rise ball tailing up and inside and then get those strikeouts on that curveball moving away. You can see the different pitches that she throws: rise ball, fastball, curveball. A variety of different pitches that she's going to throw in there. Has already racked up 17 strikeouts in Series 1, looking to carry over some of that momentum into Series 2.
Sydney McKinney takes called strike one. McKinney, rookie from Wichita State. She was the leadoff batter in all 4 games she played last week and went 3 for 4 to begin the ball game for her team. A couple of singles and a triple. Now down in the count 0-2.
It's a pretty good 1-2 punch, too, if you're Team Taylor, having Sydney McKinney in that leadoff spot and then Victoria Hayward right behind her. Lefty batters that can do so many different things from the left side. They can bunt, slap, hit away, plus if they get on base, all the speed that they bring and the chaos that they can create running the bases.
Wonderful career for McKinney as a college player. Started every single game she ever played. Softly, look at Jessie Warren. Not able to get across the diamond in time, but what an effort by Warren.
And that hit right there from Sydney McKinney is an example of why she is top 5 in D1 history in career hits. She has so much speed. She hits this one into the 5-6 hole. A great grab by Jessie Warren. There is nothing else you can do as a defender on this play. She has to come across and field that ball, but the speed of McKinney is able to beat that one out for an infield base hit.
So here's Hayward. A lot of different things she could think about here. Takes up high. No one understands the way Athletes Unlimited Softball is played more than Victoria Hayward, whereas number 1 is the original commit to Athletes Unlimited. Into center field. Easy play. McClunney, 1 down.
Third baseman.
Those fly balls seem to be a lot easier than they were a couple of days ago. Like we mentioned, the wind swirling up in the outfield, but Haley McClunney all over that fly ball. Thought for a second maybe McKinney might try to tag up if that ball continued to carry, but she stayed out there. Retreated back to first base, and now Nadia Taylor up to the plate.
Nadia 5 for 15, Series 1. Couple of homers, 7 runs batted in. One of the most popular pro players over the last decade. National Pro Fast Pitch, and now 4 years with Athletes Unlimited. And when I say popular, not just with the fans, but with her fellow players.
They love the energy that she brings, and of course what she brings on the field, whether it's defensively or up at the plate, but even just the energy that she brings consistently in the dugout is something that the rest of her teammates can really feed off of.
Oh, 0-2.
Well, you mentioned those 7 RBIs that she had in Series 1. Well, 4 of them came on just one swing off of Megan Faramo, a pitch up and inside, and she gets that barrel out in front and drives it a long way over that left field wall. A grand slam, nothing better than to start off this AUX season with the bat feeling hot and a grand slam.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Now your 3 captains are your top 3 finishers on the leaderboard, Series 1. Nadia Taylor finished 2nd. Andrea Filler finished 3rd. Atop the leaderboard right now, we won't see her team until later this afternoon. That is Aubrey Leach. Garcia strikes out Taylor.
The catcher, Number 15.
Garcia's ability to set up these rise balls up and inside with the curveball, the pitches before, and then high and tight on the hands. We saw Nadia Taylor hit a similar pitch out for a grand slam, but this one has a bit more arm side run to it, a bit higher up in the zone, and that's what allows Garcia to get her first strikeout on this afternoon.
Here's Deja Mulipola. Mulipola, one of the best power bats in the world today, did not have her usual superlative series a week ago. Just 2 for 15 with a homer. Currently 32nd out of 42 players on the leaderboard. No one asked me, but I think Mulipola's got a chance to have a wonderful series. I just think that things in the world of softball even out. And that 133 batting average doesn't look right next to Mulipola's name.
Well, it's definitely not an indicator of what she can bring up at the plate, too. And she's adjusting early in this season, trying to fix her game plan. She even said that maybe she was a bit too aggressive early in the count. She wanted to really settle in, make sure that she was getting her pitch when she did get her swing off. And already here in this at-bat, finding herself in a good hitter's count, a 2-1 count, going up against Rachel Garcia.
Three and one.
See the constant communication that's going on too between the pitchers and the catchers, trying to figure out where exactly they're going to get those strikes called back behind the plate. That one looked like it just missed inside for ball 3.
Popped up. Home run in a phone booth. Play is made by Courtney Gano. So again, fly balls not going anywhere. We have had 6 outs in our game, all out via the fly ball. Athletes Unlimited Softball on ESPN is sponsored by Aspiration, a global leader in financing climate impact. Happy Father Day to all the fathers out there. It is a special Sunday, middle part of June, and we're glad you're spending it with us. Father's a big part of a lot of these players' lives. Take a look at what happened earlier this week. Series 2 draft recap. Pitchers, man, they were at a premium. The first 5 picks were pitchers. Got to have them. Got to have good ones. In total, 16 different players will wear the same jersey that they wore last series. And to talk a little bit more about the draft and how it transpired, we're going to talk to Savannah Collins, third member of our crew. She's going to join us this inning. But right now, Taylor Edwards grabs a bat. Edwards, Filler, and Warren will bat against Corrick. And Edwards, 1 pitch, 1 out, is retired by Kaylee Clifton. All right, Savannah Collins, with that lead in, how you doing and what's going on?
I'm doing great. It is so fun to have a day game. We had some cold and windy nights last series, so I think everybody is welcoming this warm weather right now.
And Savannah, when it comes to draft strategies, especially for Team Filler and Andrea Filler, she ended up going with a pitcher first, of course, Rachel Garcia, but then went with 2 position players. Was there anything significant that stood out to you about her draft strategy?
Definitely. I think what Filler really figured out at this draft, especially it being her first one, I found this super impressive, was how to manipulate the position requirements. So, for example, I asked her, did you feel like you had a steal of the draft, somebody you got really late? And she said, yes. You may have been shocked that Jessie Warren and Lily Piper, who had a great Series 1, went so late. She said it had nothing to do with their performance or them personally. It was that the other 2 captains in Leach and Taylor had already drafted their corner infielders. So Filler knew based on that, oh, I'm locked into these 2 great players that I wanted to draft anyway earlier in the draft, but I don't have to use my picks on them because of the other picks made by the captains. I thought that was super impressive of her, is to be able to see this draft kind of as a chessboard and move those pieces around to get the players you want at the right times.
And coming into this series, too, I think we saw a lot of position players that had really good performances. Of course, a couple of pitchers, too. Is there anybody that stands out to you that's really coming into Series 2 with a lot of momentum?
Yeah, I think you see that in these captains. I mean, it's hard not to look at the bat that Leach had in Series 1, and we'll see her later today. But I think when it came to Nadia Taylor's team, when she was drafting it, when it came to that was, I was like, who are you looking at on your team to have a great week? And she said, even though people may have not had that Series 1 that they were looking for, the people that she was looking at as maybe to shine in Series 2 was Shannon Rhodes, Kaylee Clifton, and Mariah Mazon, maybe having a little bit of a redemption arc this week. So I think that was nice to see from the captains, is even though they may have drafted those hot bats early in those position player picks, they still were looking at the rest of their lineup of who do they think is going to be their pick to click in this series.
Savannah, wonderful stuff. We will check back in later, and thank you for that wonderful report on, what was it, something ARC? What did you say? I'd never heard that term before in Athletes Unlimited Softball. I thought it was fantastic. I should have written it down.
Apparently, I didn't write it down either. I was too busy listening to all the draft strategy.
Here's Jessie Warren.
The arc?
Yeah, she said the restoration arc,
Oh, their redemption arc.
There it is. There it is.
Oh, my, that's wonderful. We've never talked about redemption arc with Athletes Unlimited.
Nadia Taylor's looking for a redemption arc in some of her picks, picks this
wonderful.
week.
Savannah
Oh,
Collins,
I like that.
great stuff. All right, Georgina Korick is trying to go 1-2-3 for the 2nd consecutive inning. What's going on here? Jessie Warren. What a play by Nadia Taylor, but not able to get enough on the throw to get Warren. But good golly, Nadia Taylor flashing some leather. At worst, she saved it would have been a double for Warren. It's a 2-out single.
This is an incredible play made by Nadia Taylor, playing way back behind the bag, dives to her right, snags that one just before it goes out into left field. Such an athletic play. We talked about what she's able to bring to this team. Her defense is something that has continued to improve year after year. I remember even coming into AUX last season, she said that that was really a point of emphasis for her off-season training, was to really work on her footwork over at third base, because she didn't want to just be known as a hitter, but wanted to be a well-rounded player, and you're seeing all of that hard work pay off on that play down the line.
So first base runner of the day for Team Filler. Warren on it first with 2 outs. Rachel Garcia. She can hit it hard, folks. Today's starting pitcher for Team Filler. Garcia went 4 for 14 in Series 1 with a homer. Garcia actually led everyone in Series 1 in stat points. Is not atop the leaderboard because other things come into play, MVP points, win points.
She ended up accumulating 298 points, I believe, in one game, which is an AU record. Got some MVP points, pitching and hitting.
Korick gets the benefit of a nice call, and Garcia strikes out. 2 punch-outs for Korick here in the 2nd inning.
Georgina Korick working this outside part of the plate. If they're going to call him, she's going to continue to throw him. Korick on a roll.
Being a mom on the field takes a village, and so to have my husband, my parents, my dad who's been helping, it's like amazing, and just knowing that my son is unconditionally loved by more than just me. So happy Father's Day to my husband and to my dad.
Wonderful sentiments. Kelsey Stewart-Hunter playing as a mom for the first time this year. And yeah, playing on Father's Day.
And her son Trace turns 10 months old, I believe, coming up soon. It's really incredible to see these women and how they're able to manage, of course, being an elite level professional softball player, but also being a mom. And it's always fun to hear how their perspectives change a little bit after you become a mom, but so fun to be able to play today with their son and on Father's Day just to make it even better.
Stewart-Hunter, Wiz, and Rhodes will bat against Rachel Garcia. Garcia gave up a single to Sydney McKinney. It was an infield single, but then retired Hayward, Taylor, and Mulipola to end the first inning. We've got rollover innings on the line, folks. Should Team Taylor score just one run here in the bottom of the second inning, everyone on Team Taylor will get 20 points because they would have won the first inning and the second inning. Stewart-Hunter, former All-American at Florida. Slapped into left field and foul. Ball and 2 strikes. Stewart can do a bit of everything. Over the years, we've seen her play small balls. She can turn on it, hit it over the fence. Didn't see a homer for her in her first 4 games in Series 1. Did have a batting average of .308, though. 4 for 13.
A couple of doubles thrown in there, too, in Series 1.
Right back to Garcia, who has always been a wonderful fielder. 1 down. 4 in a row retired by by Garcia. Coming up tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 Central on ESPN2 and ESPN+. We've got the College World Series winners bracket matchup between Florida and Oral Roberts, the upstarts. It's going to be under the lights, both winning dramatic 9th inning comebacks on Friday. Here's Delaney Wiz. Wiz has got that distinctive way that she moves the bat down low as she loads up. Let's see if she can catch up to what Garcia's bringing in there.
It's always so interesting to see how these different batters really work their timing up in the box. You mentioned how her hands are kind of getting a little bit low, and she's moving her hands back and forth, trying to get in rhythm with the pitches that Rachel Garcia has thrown out there. Got to make sure that you're on time when she's bringing it with pretty good velocity.
What was your timing mechanism, Madison, when you...
I didn't have as much movement because I'm lanky and tall and it's a lot of arms, so I tried to have as minimal amount of movement as possible to be able to get on time. Really just moving in the same rhythm as the backswing for the pitchers when they're going through their windup was what I went with. The only pitcher that I ever faced that I actually had to change up my timing mechanism to get on time was facing Monica Abbott. And I was still too long even with my short swing, so I literally got to the point where I just kept my barrel on my back shoulder and just swung from there. I didn't even have any load, but let her supply the power.
Wiz to left field. This one's got a chance. It is gone! It is a homer for Delaney Wiz and an inning win. 20 points for everyone on Team Taylor.
36 feet. That's the tail of the tape for 97, Delaney Wiz.
The benefit of being in a good hitter's count, a 3-1 count, is you know that Rachel Garcia is going to bring something close to the strike zone. Wiz gets on time for this pitch. It looks like a screwball right about belt high. Gets her front foot planted, gets that barrel out in front, and drives it way over that left field wall for a solo shot and those important 20 inning points.
236 feet worth of goodness for Delaney Wiz. That is her second professional hit and her second professional homer. How about that? Jesse Warren with the pirouette and a strike to first. No one is prettier to watch at third base than Jessie Warren, and it's been that way for the last 10 years.
Number 20, Kaylee Clifton.
So Shannon Rhodes is retired on the first pitch. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. Here's Kaylee Clifton, 38th on the leaderboard. Looking for her first hit, 0 for 8. Hitting some bad luck in Series 1. Put the ball in play 6 times in 8 at-bats, but nothing fell.
I think already we're seeing an example of why some of these hitters get struck with some bad luck, because there's phenomenal defense being played behind these pitchers.
Playable behind the plates. And how about a basket catch for Taylor Edwards? Knew that thing had just a ton of spin on it, and she smothered it against the chest protector. Side is retired, but a homer by Delaney Wiz.
Wiz putting her team on the board, a 3-1 count, a pitch inside, and she barrels it up, drops the hammer on it, and sends it way out of the yard for a solo home run.
Top of the third inning, Team Taylor leads Team Filler 1-0. Let's listen into the shortstop for Team Taylor, Sydney McKinney. Let's go into the game with Air National Guard.
I'm still feeling the after effects of the doubleheader 2 days ago. We meet again. We meet again.
No, like 10 feet about.
You just hit it like 500 feet, and then you don't even have to think about the 11 pitches.
The what?
I said you just hit the ball like 500 feet, and you don't have to worry about the other pitches.
Okay, my favorite pitch, though, I mean, not pitch, but like execution, is a line drive right back at the pitcher's shins.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Pretty cool. You got one of the youngest players in the league talking with one of the oldest players, Sydney McKinney, having a conversation with Taylor Edwards.
And Taylor Edwards saying that she loves to hit line drives. I think that's what really stood out to me from that exchange. I don't know if she knew that Sydney McKinney was mic'd right there, giving up her secrets to the rookie. McKinney had such a fantastic career at Wichita State. Already off to a great start here in Athletes Unlimited.
Courtney Gano starts with a couple of strikes. 0-2 to Gano. 31st out of 42 players on the leaderboard. After Gano, Megan Wiggins, and then Haley McClenny. Out number one, Cork with a strikeout. That's now 3 strikeouts in the first 8 batters she's faced. Now tonight we feature the Yankees and the Red Sox for the second straight week on Sunday Night Baseball. This time they'll finish off a 3-game series at Fenway Park right here on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Radio. Coverage begins at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific with baseball tonight, Sunday Night Countdown. Here's the veteran, Megan Wiggins, batting against Georgina Korick. Wiggins, 9 years of pro, National Pro Fast Pitch.
We need some, I know, that's on me, I take that.
Was the NPF Player of the Year playing on this field a decade ago. 2013 NPF Player of the Year, and folks, she's still going strong. She wears number 25 because she admires Barry Bonds. And if you ask me, she plays like Barry Bonds. Power and speed.
It's always fun to watch her get ready for each at-bat, too. Always talking to herself, talking about those adjustments that she makes. Even sometimes when she gets on first base, if the ball doesn't come off of her bat exactly how she wants to, she's talking to herself over at first base about the adjustments that she wants to make in her next at-bats.
Korick, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Korick has struck out 3, Madison, and all 3 strikeouts have been looking.
Really working those curveballs away to the right-handed batters, and I think she's getting pitches called a little bit more off the plate than last week.
Clifton wins the race to first, 2 down. So the first time through the order, Georgina Korick allows just 1 single. It was a 2-out single to Jessie Warren on a ball that actually never left the infield.
That's pretty interesting, too, because right in the first inning of this ball game, she was throwing a lot more off-speed pitches, and I think once she noticed that she was going to get those curveballs called a little bit off the plate, she's really been going to that pitch.
McClenny swings at the first pitch, sails it to center field, and Hayward makes the play. One elite center fielder flies out to another elite center fielder. Another unscathed inning, a 0 put up on the board by Georgina Korick. One 0 lead by Team Taylor as we play the bottom of the 3rd inning. Only run coming on a homer by Delaney Wiz. For every run scored during this year's Athletes Unlimited AUX season, Aspirations committing to planting 10 trees. Stay tuned throughout the season to see how many trees will be planted thanks to Aspirations support.
Quite a few trees planted just after Series 1 with all the offense. Yes, a forest.
That's early, but this Series 2, pitchers getting their revenge. Jasmine Jackson, Sydney McKinney, and Victoria Hayward to bat against Rachel Garcia. 3 hitters that also run very well. Small ball alert here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. As remember, Team Taylor, if they score just 1 run, they'll have won another inning. All they need to do is scratch across 1 to be up 30 points. Jackson, left field, foul territory, and the play's not made by Lorenz. Amanda Lorenz had it bounce off the glove in foul territory. It's nothing but a strike. 1-1.
Playing shallow out in left field too, knowing that Jackson likes to go to that slap, and this ball continues to tail towards that fence out in left field. Looks like she's tracking it pretty well. It hits off the glove. I bet that's a ball that she wishes she could get back. A play that we've definitely seen her make.
Bunt laid down. That's to the wrong person. You better try someone else. Jesse Warren retires. Jackson makes it look routine, but it was anything but.
Jessie is so good at charging these balls. She reads it so quickly when these slappers go to lay down the bunt. Never stops her momentum either, throwing across her body. Courtney Gano ducking and covering over there to get out of the way of that throw. A really nicely executed defensive play on that bunt.
I'd make the argument Jexie never caught that ball. She just popped it from her glove hand.
Such a quick transfer.
To her throwing hand.
Yes.
Top of the order, Sydney McKinney bats for the second time. McKinney, an infield single back in the first inning. McKinney began her Series 2, top 10 on the leaderboard, 9th out of 42 players.
Good pick out of you. Yes, Sid. You work it all the way back. Good job.
Garcia tried to go a little bit wide, see if she'd get a call or maybe a swing. Didn't happen. 2-2. Shortstop Bertez, 2 down. Looked like Garcia was tempted to put her glove out there and say, you know what, I got a pretty good weapon in Bertez. She'll clean it up. Get your ticket to the AUX Softball Virtual Fan Fest by joining the Unlimited Club. Hear from your favorite players such as Sis Bates and Haley McClenny. Experience one-on-one meet and greets, giveaways, and more. Join now for just $20 a year, just $20 a year at auprosports.com/membership. So 2 down, couple of ground outs, and are we going to have a challenge here?
Pretty close play down at first base.
Has been requested by Team Taylor.
Okay, so the out at first has been challenged. Both captains get 2 captains' challenges.
Looks like she's out from that first view.
Man, McKinney does make it interesting, though.
Yeah, really close play.
I thought that was going to be routine, but it was anything but. All right, is there indisputable video evidence to overturn?
I don't think so. And to your point, important to note that the call on the field was that she was out at first base, so that's what they're looking for, to find that indisputable video evidence to overturn the call.
All right, so the call is upheld. So that is now 2 down. Nobody on here in the 3rd inning. So with that unsuccessful challenge, Team Taylor just 1 challenge remaining. Off-speed pitch, a beauty. Look at that. Rachel Garcia starts Victoria Hayward off with a changeup.
It's even more difficult, too, because as a batter, you're gearing yourself up from the high velocity that she throws, that 68-mile-an-hour pitch moving up in the zone. So when she's able to drop in that off speed, it makes it even more difficult to try to adjust And as a batter, you almost have to pick which speed you want to go after. Do you want to try to go after the off speeds, or do you want to go after the hard stuff? But in my opinion, I feel like Rachel Garcia doesn't necessarily throw that changeup enough to go up there and sit that pitch.
Madison, I remember talking to some old school softballers, and they used to tell me, why would you ever throw a changeup on the first pitch? It's called a changeup because you're changing the speeds from what the batter's used to seeing. So why would you just start slow before going fast and then slow?
Interesting. It's an interesting concept. I do feel like with the scouting reports that are out on the pitchers, though, if you try to go something that's against the grain, that's where you can have the little bit of an advantage. And of course, every one of these players know each other so well playing in this league, changing teams constantly, so they know that Garcia is going to pump in some really good velocity. So I like the idea of throwing the changeup on the first pitch, trying to get them on their heels a little bit to start off the at-bat.
Beat the scouting report. 3-2, Garcia wanted that call.
And you know that pitch is always in the back of the mind of the hitters too, especially when she's able to locate it for a strike. When you get into a 2-strike count, as we see Victoria Hayward in here, you have to be able to fight off both speeds that Garcia is going to throw.
First time that Garcia's gone to a full count. Hayward's now the 11th batter she's faced. One thing Vic did really well in Series 2 was show a quality eye. She walked 5 times in 4 games. Hit into center field, and we've seen it before. McClenny flied out to Hayward, and now Hayward flies out to McClenny. The center fielders playing pepper with each other. Back for the 4th.
I had the pleasure of last year playing on Father's Day in San Diego, and my dad was there. And a lot of softball gets played in June. So most Father's Days, I've been playing softball, and he's been there. It's super special to play on Father's Day.
He's always been my biggest supporter. He's coached me since I was very little. He's always been hard on me, but we've always had that special bond and special connection because of softball.
My dad, he's instilled so much in me. The will, the grit, the intensity, just the competitiveness. He's a big role model for me.
My dad means everything to me. He loves watching me play softball, so I'm so thankful that on Father's Day he'll be able to watch me hit, and I hope that I get a hit for him.
Great stuff. Happy Father's Day, everybody. Important day in a lot of people's lives, and we couldn't ask for anything better to be at the ballpark on a nice, breezy Sunday afternoon.
Love hearing all those stories, too, about these athletes and what their fathers meant to them growing up. Long days at the ballpark, even some of them talking about some of the rides home. And happy Father's Day to my dad as well. He was always there helping me, pushing me to be the best softball player that I possibly could. And a happy Father's Day to my husband back home in Knoxville.
Anissa Urtez will be followed by Amanda Lorenz and then Taylor Edwards. How about Georgina Korick? She has so far gone through the lineup, faced 10 batters, and only allowed 1 base runner. That was a 2-out infield single by Jessie Warren in the 2nd inning. And taking it a step farther, so far this year, Korick has thrown 5 1-2-3 innings. May not seem like much, but it is. That is the league leading number. Into center field, that'll get down. Leadoff single for Urtez. So for the first time, leadoff batter aboard for Team Filler. It's Father's Day and time to get your dad what he really wants, an exclusive AU Father's Day tee. Check out the 2 new great designs. Go to shop.auprosports.com and get yours today. That's one thing Athletes Unlimited has never made a mistake on, is merch. Great gear, great logo, great branding.
Fun colors, too.
Yep.
Amanda Lorenz is one of those players that loves to wear pink. I believe she said she tries to put in a pop of pink every single game day. I think she was lobbying last year for all pink uniforms.
Sounds like her. All right, Lorenz, her first time up, swung at the first pitch, which she never does. This time clearly said, I'm going to take the first 2 pitches, and she finds herself down in the count 0-2. Tough start to her day. Amanda Lorenz strikes out on 3 pitches. That is strikeout number 4 for Korick, and her first swinging strikeout.
Goes with this off-speed pitch, low and inside. Everything coming out of Georgina Korick's hand looks the same. The speed of her windup is very similar on every single one of her pitches, and that's where you get some of those swings and misses way out in front on the off-speed pitch. Korick doing really well out there in the circle so far today.
Not scientific, but I bet Amanda Lorenz hasn't struck out on 3 pitches more than 10 times in her life.
She's such a good 2-strike hitter, and I think right there you just got to tip your cap because it was just a better pitch that was thrown by Korick in that at-bat.
Woo! Quick bat this year, Taylor Edwards. Loud foul, 0-2. I apologize, count is 1-1. Edwards bounced to first, her first time up. 1-2.
Edwards has hit a couple of home runs already in this AUX season. One of the home runs came off of Georgina Korick, a rise ball. She got up and inside, got her barrel to it. I think that's why Georgina's staying a bit further away on the outside part of the plate to Taylor Edwards in this at-bat.
No one has hit more home runs in AUX history than Taylor Edwards. She's now got 6. Taylor, ooh, did she get the out at second? She did. That was closer than it needed to be. The sure out was at first, but Taylor gets the lead runner. 2 down.
It's a really awkward slide over into second base. I thought for a second that she was actually going to beat out this throw, but look at how her feet almost turned sideways when she hits the turf.
Yep. I think a better slide and she may have been safe.
I agree. Now, I don't think she did that on purpose. It almost looked like she got stuck in the turf a bit when she went down to slide. But I think that split second where her feet turned to the side is what allowed Nadia Taylor to get that force out over at second base. Right here, you could see her knee get stuck into the ground.
On the ground to third. Taylor's been busy. Air mails the throw. Everyone's going to be safe. And out at second. Oh, my goodness. Filler got caught with her hand in the cookie jar. Thought that the ball was going to be out of play. She goes to second and is thrown out at second base. Now this will be challenged. Filler is the captain. It's her decision. She wants to challenge this.
In real time, I thought Andrea Filler beat out that throw over to second base. And smart base running, too. Come all the way around to score. I believe that was Taylor Edwards that came around to score on that play.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see how this is ruled. This is the first captain's challenge for Filler. We already saw Nadia Taylor with a captain's challenge that was unsuccessful. That's a tough one.
That's a close play over there. Let's see if she gets this left foot into the base. Oh, did Kelsey Stewart-Hunter apply the tag on the knee before that foot got there?
You need indisputable video evidence, and is there indisputable video evidence? I'm glad I'm not making the final decision.
So hard to tell.
Well, Filler, it is totally her prerogative as the captain to challenge this.
I don't think she'd even popped up out of the slide before she was given the signal to go to video review.
And that first base dugout seems to be optimistic. Hey, the call is overturned. That's the first time here with Athletes Unlimited AUX Softball this June that we've had a call overturned, and it's huge. They're going to say that not only is Filler safe at second, but that Edwards was quick enough to get her on the bases, and her run counts.
Great heads-up base running by Taylor Edwards, too. She started off that play over at first base, but when she saw the throw go back to second base, she did not hesitate, rounding third, came all the way in to score. Softly hit ground ball, too. That looked like it was going to be the third out of the inning. Nadia Taylor just didn't get a good enough grip on that throw across to first base, so it sailed over the head of Kaylee Clifton and allows a run to come across to tie up this ball game for Team Filler.
Jesse Warren is the batter, run out at second, 2 outs. Just to make sure that everyone understands how Athletes Unlimited Softball is played, that's not going to be an earned run. The error on Taylor kept the inning alive, so it's not going to be anything negative for Cork as a pitcher. Every earned run is usually 10 points deducted. So no points deducted from Cork, but her team now stands a chance of losing this inning. And how interesting that the error that prolonged the inning was made by one of the captains, Nadia Taylor, and the decision to overturn was by the other captain who was involved in the bang-bang play at second, and Andrea Filler. It's cosmic.
The game within the game, right? These captains still trying to beat each other out. An unfortunate throw there by Nadia, a play that she makes 9 times out of 10. Saw her double clutch a bit trying to get a grip on that softball, but just launched it.
Taylor have another chance. This time gets it over to first, and the side is retired. An eventful top of the 4th inning. Run scored for Team Filler to tie the ball game up.
Yeah, Blue, let's ride! The first game I was like major butterflies, and then I was totally fine, and now I'm feeling just like, yeah. Yeah, I don't think anybody has stolen a base yet, just like a straight steal, have they?
Welcome back, everyone. We've made it to the bottom of the fourth inning, and you just listened in to Andrea Filler talking to her team. She's a captain for the first time, and one of the most pivotal moments of the game just a moment ago when she had the captain's challenge that she won, leading to a run. Andrea, thanks for joining us. How are things out there?
Things are amazing. We're having fun out here. The weather's perfect, and happy Father's Day. Shout out to all the dads out there. I want to give a shout out to my dad, my father-in-law, and my grandpa. Love them.
And Andrea, we were laughing up here in the booth because of how quickly you called for the challenge after you had slid into second base. I don't even think you had popped up out of the slide yet before you were signaling that you wanted to go to replay. What were you feeling that led you to make that decision so quickly?
Well, first of all, that's assuming I could get up quickly. I'm a little old these days, but no, I kind of knew right away that I had gotten around the slide, avoided the tag a little bit, and Haley McClenny, one of my favorite teammates, she's known for being quick on the challenge, so I was feeling it, and I looked over at her, she was feeling it, so I went for it.
We talked about the game within the game. It always seems like everybody's competing, apparently competing on how quickly you can call for challenges, too. We're going to have to write that down in our notebooks as these games go on. But I wanted to ask you one more question when it comes to preparation for a season like this. And you had talked about how you changed your prep a little bit this season than you had done in previous years. What was different about this offseason for you?
Yeah, I think this offseason for me, I started working as the director of ops at Northwestern. So, you know, your time demands with having a full-time job, and then also training. Obviously, you have to fit in your training where you can. But I think for me personally, I just checked in with myself mentally. I knew after last season that I needed a little bit of a break physically and mentally. So I just wanted to be really intentional about like the timing of my training. You know, when you enter the pro league, no one really tells you how to train, right? You don't really have coaches telling you how to train as a professional. So I just wanted to listen to my mind, listen to my body. Started my training much later this year so that I could kind of be at my peak later in the season rather than kind of peaking at the beginning. So yeah, it's been great.
Nadia Taylor, the batter. 3 balls and a strike to Taylor. There's a quality strike thrown by Garcia. Andrea, softball obviously super important here in the Chicagoland area. You know all about it. You played at Northwestern, Purple Pride over there. I see you still got the purple glove. Your college coaches, they're in the building today. Did you know that Kate and Carol Drohan were going to be here?
I did not. That was a nice surprise. I was coming off the field after one of our defensive innings, and I looked over and I see Ellis Drohan, who's Kate Drohan, our head coach's daughter, and her face, she had a huge smile. My face lit up. So I went over to them to say hello, but I love them. They're some of my greatest mentors. It's been so fun playing in college for them and then transitioning to working with them every day. And you know, we've become really great friends over the years, but they're some of my greatest mentors, and I really look up to them. And it's just so special that you know, they're so busy and they take the time out of their day to come out here and support me and the Pro League as well. So it's great having them out here.
And Andrea, besides the change in your preparation, was there anything in particular that you took away from this season being the director of ops over at Northwestern that you're taking into your pro career?
Absolutely. I think, you know, every day I'm in there. One of the benefits is I'm around the game every day, right? So I get to listen to our staff talk hitting every single day, talk approaches, watching them dive into film and some of the things that they're studying and they're working on. It's just really amazing to be a part of that, because I think at this level, you know, everybody's good. Everybody on the field has the physical skills to be a professional, and what makes the difference is up here in the brain. So I think just being surrounded by the game every day and learning mentally how to succeed is really what takes the game to the next level for me. Ball. Woo! Thank you so much. Got a little scary there.
It continues to work. That microphone's got a magnet on it. I don't know if you knew that,
yeah,
Andrea.
Right? I was like, okay, Cora, hang on for me. I'm mid-conversation.
Well, Andrea, thank you for your time and continued good luck. You're off to a great start here at AUX.
Thank you guys so much. job, Rach. Yeah, nobody was moving, so I was like, all right, start going. And I'm like mid-interview over here, so.
Deja Mulipola is the batter. Deja popped up to first time up. Mulipola will be followed by Kelsey Stewart-Hunter. Remember, Team Filler scoring a run top of this fourth inning, so Team Taylor needs to answer, or the 20 points because of the rollover in the tied third inning will go towards Team Filler. The first 2 innings were won by Team Taylor. We had a scoreless first. Team Taylor scored a run in the second on the home run by Delaney Wiz. Rachel Garcia. Fouled straight back. Garcia has just 1 strikeout. That was Taylor back in the first inning.
A lot of fly ball outs for her in this ball game. Working the rise ball up and underneath the hands. Getting ahead here to Deja Mulipola, who's up there just battling, fouling off a couple of close pitches. Good take there, low and inside. And we talked about the different batting stances and how people get their timing very differently. And I always find it so fascinating how late into the motion Deja Mulipola starts her action up at the plate. But she is so strong. She's already in her legs. She doesn't need a lot of extra movement to get power behind the ball.
Popped it up. Foul territory. Warren has to make the magic catch after battling the sun. She's got the sunglasses on and just was having a hard time finding it, able to make the play. Now coming up tonight, 7 Eastern, 6 Central on ESPN2 and ESPN+. We've got the College World Series winners bracket matchup between the Florida Gators and Oral Roberts. Both won in dramatic 9th inning fashion on Friday. Oral Roberts trying to keep that magic carpet ride going. 2 outs, base is clear. Kelsey Stewart-Hunter bounced out to Garcia back in the second inning. Now the big story in Series 1 was all the runs scored. It was an offensive extravaganza. Not so much here as we begin Series 2. We've got a combined 4 hits, 1 run aside. Bottom of the fourth inning.
Saw a lot of pitching changes early in ball games too in Series 1 with the offense that was hitting the ball all over the place, and now got ourselves a pretty good pitcher's duel here.
Taking all the way, 3-1. Yeah, we've seen Kelsey Stewart-Hunter for years and frequently batting top of the order. She would always be taking 3-0. Now hitting in the 5 spot, maybe you think swinging 3-0, but it's just not in her DNA. Draws the walk, and that is the first walk allowed for either side. 2-out base runner for Team Taylor. All right, here comes trouble. Delaney Wiz has 2 hits so far in her AUX season. Both of them have been homers. And with another ball issued by Garcia, maybe Edwards spotted something, chose to go out to the mound.
I guarantee she's talking about what Delaney Wiz did in her last at-bat. It was an inside pitch right about belt high that Wiz gets her barrel out in front, drives it out beyond that left field wall for a solo shot. Pitch coming in almost 69 miles per hour, and she sends it 236.4 feet out to left field. Exit velocity of 71.2 miles per hour off the bat as well.
Into the gap, right center field. That'll get down, cut off by McClenny. Over to third goes Stewart-Hunter. Runners on at the corners. So a great start to her day offensively for Delaney Wiz.
It's a great piece of hitting, too, knowing that she hit an inside pitch in her last at-bat for the home run. So Garcia is going to try to work these curveballs away, and she just throws her barrel at that pitch. Doesn't try to do too much. Gets good extension here to drive that pitch out into the right center gap. Good base running, too, by Kelsey Stewart-Hunter to make it all the way around to third base. Now runners on the corners with 2 away.
The dangerous Shannon Rhodes. Rhodes got robbed first time up. Nice play defensively by Jesse Warren. Rhodes was a breakout star last year here with Athletes Unlimited. Just 2 for 12 this go round. Dangerous spot in the game for Garcia. Paints. Ball and 2 strikes. Not much Rhodes can do with that. Count evens at 2. Team Taylor trying to answer the run scored by Team Filler in the top of the 4th. High fly ball, going to be playable for Wiggins. Side is retired. So it is a rollover inning win for Team Filler. 20 points for everyone on Team Filler. The 5th is next.
It's been all about the pitchers here in Game 1 of Series 2, and Georgina Korig has been on a roll in the circle, really working the outside part of the plate to those right-handed batters with the curveball and with the off-speed pitch. Has 4 strikeouts on the day so far. 3 of those strikeouts have been looking.
She's been impressive. Yeah, both Korig and Garcia have done the almost unthinkable. They've been able to slow these bats down. A 1-1 game in the 5th inning in Series 1 would have been unthinkable the way that the offense was so productive. So a good old-fashioned pitcher's duel on a Sunday afternoon. Remember, this is just the first of 2. In our second game today, we will see our first look at Team Leach, led by the leaderboard leader, Aubrey Leach, first-time captain. She was sensational. 571 batting average with power.
And she can drop a bunt for a base hit, too. Makes it so difficult to play defense against somebody like Aubrey Leach with how many tools she has, showing off the power, as you mentioned, as well.
Here's Rachel Garcia, batting for herself. Struck out looking to end the second inning. Bottom third of the order, Garcia, Gano, and Wiggins scheduled to bat against Corrick. Both pitchers, Corrick and Garcia, with that 1 run allowed, but they've gotten 12 outs through 4 innings. 12 outs times 4 is 48. They both have given up a run, but remember, Corrick's was unearned.
I'm just glad I have you here to deal with all of the math.
Foul ball, third base side. Let's check back in with Savannah Collins. No relation. Savannah?
Thanks, Eric. Talking to Georgina in the preseason, I think this sort of outing is exactly what we expected of her based on her last AUX season. And I think that might have a little bit to do with who's behind the plate, Deja Malupola. She said that pitching to Deja was key for her last season, and to be reunited this week, that battery back together again. Those two work together so well, and I think that attributes a lot to her success. She mentioned so often the comfortability and confidence she has with her behind the plate.
Great stuff, yeah. When you talk about great pitchers over the years, collegiately, internationally, professionally, when you talk about the great pitcher, there's usually always a catcher that you remember that goes in tandem.
You can see Deja back there calling the game as well. I think that's why it's so important for these pitchers and these catchers to get on the same page really quickly, especially here at AUX. Not a ton of practice time in between, but watching them communicate even in between pitches, in between at-bats, of how they want to attack these hitters, what pitches are working well on a specific day. And Georgina Corrick is somebody that even throughout her college career, her and her catcher called the games down at South Florida. Not something that you typically see in the college game these days. A lot of times you see it being called from the pitching coach in the dugout, but she's always had her hands into calling the pitches, and I think that gives you such an advantage when you get to the pro level, having called games before, knowing which pitches you want to go to against certain swings or certain batters, and it definitely helps having somebody like Deja Malupola back behind the plate as well.
Called strike 3. Another strikeout for Corrick.
First baseman, number 60.
Both of these pitchers working outside to these right-handed batters. This is a curveball away. You can see how far off of the plate Rachel Garcia is getting that call outside. That's something we've seen consistently called for both pitchers today. Garcia can't believe it, but now of the 5 strikeouts Corrick has, 4 of them have been looking.
And she's a quick study. She has figured out the home plate umpire's strike zone and exploited it.
And she can nail that location pitch after pitch after pitch, something we saw throughout her college career, now in her professional career, her accuracy and efficiency in the pitches that she throws when she's in the circle.
That ball just slipped, happens sometimes. Ball and a strike to Courtney Gano. Gano struck out looking, her first time up against Corrick. I will say this, Corrick still very effective, but it seems as if Team Filler's starting to get a little better swings. Their foul balls have become a little bit louder.
Well, I think, too, as a batter, when you know that she's getting those calls, of course she's going to want to go back to that pitch over and over again. Good take outside, just barely missing. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of these right-handed batters throwing their barrels toward those pitches, just trying to take away that part of the strike zone.
Hard and foul.
Good swing there on a pitch up and inside. To your point, Eric, I think back to the swing that Anissa Ortez had on that 1-2 count, a curveball way outside, just threw her barrel at it, dropped it out into the right center gap. Courtney Gano up on the plate a little bit more.
Pitch misses inside, 3-2. Corrick has not walked anyone.
Good at bat here by Courtney Gano. Battling off those close curveballs outside, knowing that it's rung up several of her teammates. She doesn't want to go down looking in this at bat.
Wonderful job with the bat by Gano. Saw everything that Corrick had and gets yourself a line drive base hit into right field. So a run out base runner for Team Filler. Well, we're going to feature the Yankees and the Red Sox for the second straight week on Sunday Night Baseball. This time they're going to finish off a 3-game series at historic Fenway Park. Right here on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Radio. Coverage begins 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific with baseball tonight, Sunday Night Countdown. Megan Wiggins. Wiggins coming in today, 6th out of 42 players on the leaderboard. Bounced to first in the 3rd inning. Back-to-back pitches in the identical spot, and Wiggins down in the count 0-2.
So good at just painting the corners. Her head coach at South Florida used to call her a Picasso out there in the circle, the way that she's able to paint the corners of the strike zone. Head coach, Coach Erickson. Really fun to watch her grow throughout her time in college and then continue to grow now at the professional level.
Wiggins has been a part of all 4 years of Athletes Unlimited softball. After being a pro for close to a decade before AAU even started to exist. She knows everything is possible. For years playing pro ball, she was teammates with Kelly Kretschman, who played forever. Fly ball, right field. Coming in, making the play is Wiz, 2 down. And remaining on at first is Gano.
Center fielder.
Speaking of Kelly Kretschman, I always used to ask her, what's the key to having a long softball career? And she used to tell me, playing in turfs.
Really?
That's what she said.
No spikes, huh?
Is the key to playing a long time in this game, is having turfs out on the field, which we see a lot of turfs now, playing on this turf field.
Well, it was Kelly Kretschman who we're talking about, who established softball at an elite level at the University of Alabama, and Haley McClenny took it to another level. Crimson Tide, a perennial power. Their first great superstar was Kelly Kretschman. McClenny, a 2-out base hit. That's her first hit. All 3 times she's put the ball in play, it has ended up in the glove of Victoria Hayward out in center field. 2 flyouts, and now this ground ball single to Vic out in center field.
It always seems like no matter where the pitch is, Haley McClenny finds a way to drive it back up the middle. That pitch was way up and outside, and she doesn't try to lift it out of the park for a home run. She gets enough solid barrel on it to drive it back up the middle for a base hit.
Inning continues for Urtez. Smoked. That ball is fair off the wall. A run scores. McClenny stops at 3rd. A run-scoring double for Anissa Urtez.
Starting to see those adjustments from Team Filler's offense off of Georgina Corrick. Anissa Urtez gets a pitch up and in after driving the ball the opposite way in her last at-bat. Corrick tries to change things up, bring it inside, and Urtez is all over it. A line drive straight off the wall out in left field. It's going to bring across 1 run here in the 5th inning for Team Filler.
We saw it and talked about it at the beginning part of this inning with Garcia and Gano hitting loud foul balls. Now it's been McClenny and Urtez turning those foul balls into fair ball line drive hits. So Corrick, just like that, is going to be lifted. She's responsible for the runners on at 2nd and 3rd. When we come back, we'll tell you about Alicia Ocasio. Team Taylor, the first to the bullpen. Alicia Ocasio comes on with 2 outs here in the 5th inning.
Ocasio, one of those pitchers that really likes to work the ball down in the zone. Got 7 strikeouts in Series 1. Really relies heavily on her ability to mix speeds. Likes to throw those off-speed pitches. A lot of them have a bit of downward bite to them as well. Going to need them here with runners on second and third base with 2 away.
There is a base empty. Amanda Lorenz the batter. 2-0 to Lorenz. Lorenz 0 for 2 against Georgina Korek, including a 3-pitch strikeout her last time up.
There's that off-speed pitch, and I think if you're in this situation, you have to go after Amanda Lorenz because you've got Taylor Edwards sitting on deck waiting to hit, and she's already hit a home run off of Alicia Ocasio in this AUX season, off of a changeup in Series 1.
High pop-up. It's going to be playable for someone. Hayward. And the side is retired. Good job, Ocasio. Comes on with runners on at second and third and retires the dangerous Amanda Lorenz. Welcome back, everyone. We are in Rosemont, Illinois, Parkway Banks Sports Complex on Father's Day. It has been a well-played first game here at Series 2, Athletes Unlimited AUX Softball. Athletes Unlimited Pro Games, Little League World Series coming your way on August 9th. ESPN2, history being made. Athletes Unlimited bringing the first ever professional softball games to the Little League Softball World Series in Greenville, North Carolina. Mentioned August 9th, 4:30 and 7 on ESPN2. You don't want to miss this inspirational event with the heroes of the game competing in regular season games in front of the Little League softball athletes and fans. Really cool.
It's going to be fun for all of those Little League softball athletes to be able to watch their role models playing those games right up close. Get to see all of the players that they look up to.
All right, same thing we saw for Rachel Garcia and Team Filler an inning ago. They've scored a run here in the top of the inning and now trying to hold on and give themselves another inning win. So far through the first 4 complete innings, 2 inning wins for Team Filler, 2 inning wins for Team Taylor. We get 10 points on the line. Kaylee Clifton leads things off against Rachel Garcia. Clifton, Jackson, and McKinney scheduled to bat against Garcia.
So far in this ball game, not a ton of hard contact off of Rachel Garcia. Delaney Wiz, I believe, has the 2 hardest hits off of her. One of them sent over the wall for a solo shot, the other one a single out to the right center gap. But other than that, a lot of fly ball outs. Not a ton of strikeouts, only 1 for Garcia, but a lot of those fly ball outs, weak contact for her. And right on cue, a laser of a line drive foul and out of play, a long strike.
Garcia through 4 innings has walked 1 and struck out 1. For the most part, she's relied on her defense. Oh my goodness. 0-2 pitch got away from her, and the leadoff batter aboard. So for Clifton, that's 8 points the hard way.
It's a painful 8 points. She's walking down the first baseline. Looks to be okay. Oof. Down in the lower part of that ankle. That did not feel good. Almost looked like maybe trying to throw a backdoor curve that just slipped out of her hand. Kaylee's still walking it off down at first base.
All right, here's your updated leaderboard. Aubrey Leach has not played. She's the captain of our second game today. So she's been leapfrogged by Rachel Garcia. Garcia able to pick up points as a pitcher, as a batter, when her team wins innings. A lot of different options for her as we take a look at the entire leaderboard, 1 through 42. All right, we will see if Clifton can still scoot around the bases. She's going to run for herself. Here's Jasmine Jackson. Maybe a bunt?
If you're going to lay it down, you almost have to lay it down anywhere besides to Jessie Warren over at third base, because she made a phenomenal play on a good bunt laid down by Jackson back in the 3rd inning. You can see the way they're playing, too. It almost looks like Jessie Warren's going to be the one that's going to cover the bunts, even if they go up the first baseline with as far back as Courtney Gano is playing. She does cover a lot of ground, though. She gets a great jump. It's almost like she knows that these batters are going to bunt before they even turn to square.
2 balls, no strikes. Uh-oh. 3-0. Three and 1.
Shown bunt on every pitch of this at-bat. Jessie Warren still charging hard on every single pitch.
Here's Warren with a chance and aggressively goes to second. Not a surprise. Everyone in the building knew it. Maybe the most aggressive third baseman in the world today. Warren gets the lead runner at second.
And Jasmine Jackson does have some power coming from the left side, but Jessie Warren knows that she's going to try to lay down a bunt in this situation with the runner over at first base, and she charges that ball so hard she has plenty of time to get that force out over at second and prevent that runner from moving into scoring position.
So Jackson on at first, 1 out, top of the order, and McKinney takes high. This is McKinney's 3rd look at Rachel Garcia. Interesting to note, you got Jasmine Jackson on at first. She can run. Stolen bases are worth a +10. Her team needs a run. But people really aren't running this year. We have had 1 stolen base attempt so far.
I think a lot of it has to do with the respect for the arms that you're seeing back behind the plate, too. Taylor Edwards has a cannon back there. Deja Mulipola on the other side has a fantastic arm. I did hear Victoria Hayward before the ball game talking about how they'd like to see a bit more aggressiveness on the base paths from some of their faster runners. So maybe we try to see if Team Taylor is going to try to put somebody in motion here.
1-2. Into center field. McClenny! Got it! Haley McClenny has done it again! Unbelievable! 2 down!
Haley McClenny makes these plays look so incredibly easy. The jump that she gets off of the bat, the read that she gets when the ball is up in the air, it's tailing away from her, going towards left field, laying it all out on the line, getting completely horizontal, making that catch.
What a tough way to make it out. Welcome to the Pro League, Sydney McKinney.
Just some bad luck right there. You hit it to the wrong person, right? Amanda Lorenz coming all the way over from left field to give Haley McClenny a high five after that incredible catch out in center.
I used to think I'd never see a better defender in center field than Caitlin Lowe. A lot of people of a certain generation say Laura Berg. Haley McClenny takes a backseat to no one.
Just the aggressiveness that she has in the outfield too. And how much range she has and how she's able to read the spins off of the bat too. Always into the game, every single pitch. And when you watch her in practice, even during BP, she's working on those reads, never taking a pitch off, always taking advantage of any little opportunity that she has to get better.
Three balls and a strike to Victoria Hayward. Interesting to note, Victoria Hayward, center fielder for Team Taylor, she has tried Haley McClenny twice today. Flied out twice to center field. This time she goes to right and gets a base hit. On her way to third goes Jackson. Good bit of hitting right there by Victoria Hayward to put runners on at the corners.
Looked like Team Taylor went for a hit and run in that situation. We talked about maybe trying to put some runners into motion, and Victoria Hayward gets a pitch inside. Looks like a curveball right about belt high. Gets her barrel out in front, hits it so hard that it just barely misses Jasmine Jackson. Good thing she hit it right behind her because that thing was absolutely smoked out into right field. But that good jump off of first base allows her to reach a third base safely on that single out to right.
All right, we've got meetings everywhere. One in the circle and one along the third base line. You've got an inning win on the line. You've got Nadia Taylor, the captain for Team Taylor, at the plate. Runners on at first and at third with 2 outs. I'm not the expert here, but I can see Victoria Hayward trying to steal second. It'd be good for her personally. It'd probably be good for her team as well. I'm not even sure they would throw down. Could be an easy 10 points for her.
With as much speed as she has, I would definitely be taken off within the first couple of pitches too.
There she goes, swinging at the first pitch is Taylor, and she hits it to the wrong part of the ballpark. The ball just dies in Haley McClenny's glove. 2/3 of the world covered by water, the other third by Haley McClenny.
Absolutely unbelievable, robbing the rookie of a base hit. Haley McClenny laying it all out, coming up with that phenomenal catch by the veteran.
Review. Where do you usually umpire?
Big 10.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
I work at Northwestern.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I did Monday, one year still there.
Okay, awesome. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm the director of ops, so
Okay.
I'm always running around, getting all the food orders put together. Yeah. Hey, one time in my life the legs pay off, you know?
Andrea Filler enjoys being on that softball diamond, talking, playing, catching up. That was conversations that she had on that pivotal Captain's Challenge that we had a couple innings ago. That was back in the 4th inning. That resulted in the first run of the game for Team Filler. They now lead 2-1 over Team Taylor, and it's getting late. It is the 6th inning. Not playing for Team Taylor, Taylor Edwards playing for Team Filler. That's not confusing, is it? She's down in the count 0-2.
Is it bad that that didn't even cross my mind until you just said it?
Both these teams have a tailor-made lineup today.
You've been waiting all
Can I
day
continue?
to use that
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Would you like to know that my middle name is?
Is it really Taylor?
Yes.
Oh, that's
yes,
awesome.
Yes.
I did not know that. After Taylor Edwards, the captain, Andrea Filler, Jesse Warren. That's a formidable 3. Then Alicia Ocasio will try and navigate. Ocasio came on to get the final out of the 5th inning. She got Amanda Lorenz to fly out to center. Ball 4. So Ocasio making it difficult for herself by issuing the leadoff walk. Coming up tonight, 7 Eastern, 6 Central on ESPN2 and ESPN Plus. We've got the College World Series winners bracket matchup. You got Florida taking on Oral Roberts, both with big-time wins coming late, 9th inning comebacks on Friday. Now Ocasio having a hard time with the strike zone. She walks Edwards to begin the 6th and now goes 2-0 to Filler. That's one thing Ocasio is known for, is control. Laced into left field. First base hit of the afternoon for Filler. Runners on at first and at second.
You can see Ocasio really throwing a heavy dose of those off-speed pitches, missing a lot of them way out of the zone, tries to bring one more over the heart of the plate there, and Andrea Filler jumps all over it for a hard line drive out to left field to put another base runner on in the top of the 6th.
And it looks like with a runner on at second and Taylor Edwards, maybe now is the time that Charlotte Morgan, the facilitator for Team Filler, wants to ask the home plate umpire for a pinch runner. Yep, it is. So it's going to be Sachel Palacios. That is a big-time tip of the cap. One catcher replacing another catcher to run. All right, Sachel. So Sachel Palacios will be in the game as your pinch runner. What's the point, Madison, of replacing the runner at second as opposed to when Taylor Edwards is on at first?
I think because she's in scoring position, and also with Taylor Edwards being back behind the plate, want to make sure that she gets enough rest during this ball game. It is hot. I know in Series 1 it was a bit cooler, a lot windier, and here it's very, very warm out here today. Making sure that everybody is staying rested and hydrated, especially for those catchers back behind the plate.
Jesse Warren bunts it foul. That actually hit her when she was in the box. So just a strike, 0-1 to Warren.
Well, she's had the opportunity to field a couple of bunts in this ball game, so it looked like she was going to try to challenge Nadia Taylor over at third base on this bunt attempt. Hits her while she's still in that batter's box.
Jesse Warren hasn't been asked to bunt very much in her life. Much more comfortable swinging the bat, and she's down in the count 0-2.
Drove a home run already in AUX, what, over 300 feet, I believe was the distance on the one home run that she had.
Ocasio, the 0-2. Beautiful pitch. Are you kidding me? That was filthy with a wrinkle on it. And Warren strikes out on 3 pitches.
You'll see Ocasio throw these off-speed pitches to both sides of the plate. Comes inside with this one just off of the plate. A pretty changeup. Freezes Jesse Warren for a huge strikeout.
Warren knew she was beat and tried to lean that right leg in there and hoped that maybe she'd get plunked. Here's Rachel Garcia. Garcia's thrilled that Corrick's out of the game. Struck out twice against Corrick. Lashed into the gap. That'll score a run, maybe 2. Here comes Palacios. Here comes Feller. No throw. A 2-run double for Garcia. It is now a 4-run lead for Team Filler.
Garcia watches the first pitch go by for a strike. It's a changeup inside, and so then Alicia Ocasio tries to go with the pitch, moving more up in the zone, still on the inside part of the plate. And Garcia is all over it, driving it out for a 2-run double out into that left center gap. The speed of Palacios and Filler rounding to score easily on that double out to the fence. And another pinch runner here coming in.
Odyssey Alexander will run for Garcia. Courtney Gano takes called strike 1. Here's Odyssey Alexander.
A catcher and a pitcher now as pinch runners in this inning.
Well, you're relatively limited. You got 42 women here, and it's divided 3 ways. So you get 14 player teams. So you get your 9 starters, and then you got 5 off the bench. A lot of them pitchers. You always need backup catchers. So yeah, sometimes limited a bit with who you can call on as opposed to a college game when, my goodness,
I think you got to think ahead too, because I believe that it's Team Filler that is playing the doubleheader tomorrow. We know how taxing those days can be. Making sure that everybody is as rested as possible after today, heading into the doubleheader day tomorrow.
Well, she's in the dugout right now, but this is just yet another example of what being a pitcher who hits can mean for your status on the leaderboard. Garcia's thrown 5 innings. She's only allowed 1 earned run. And now she gets a big 2-run double. The double's worth 20 points. And you got to assume she's going to get some MVP points if this game continues the way it's trending. Gano strikes out. That's the 2nd out of the inning. Both of the outs have been strikeouts for Ocasio.
Well, that's how Rachel Garcia was able to rack up nearly 300 points in just 1 game alone, because she got the MVP points, a couple of hits, and of course what she's able to do out there in the circle. Being able to do a variety of different things on the field leads to a bunch of individual points on the leaderboard, but also when you're performing well, you get those inning win points, you get the team win points. And ultimately, that's what's going to drive you towards the top of that leaderboard throughout this season.
Well, right now for Garcia, you can put a 1 in front of her uniform number, and that's how many points she's got. She's got exactly 100 points today. She's a little bit bashful about it, doesn't want everyone to know. That's why she's covering it up. Right back to Ocasio, maybe the best fielding pitcher of her generation, and Wiggins is retired. Another wonderful inning put up by Team Filler, in particular Rachel Garcia. They lead 4-1. Athletes Unlimited Softball on ESPN is sponsored by Aspiration, a global leader in financing climate impact. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Hope you're enjoying this fantastic Series 2 opener between Team Filler and Team Taylor. It is a 4-1 lead as we play the bottom of the 6th inning for Team Filler. The AU Softball Championship season, folks, is back here in Rosemont, July 28th through August 27th. Season tickets, 3-game mini plans, group tickets, and more are now available. Go to auprosports.com/tickets to get yours today. It has been just an absolute wonderful decision to play Athletes Unlimited Softball here in Rosemont. Chicagoland area loves their softball. This event has been supported well for 4 years. The venue works. You got the bubble just on the other side of the parking garage. The women can get their work in. Glad to be back for this AUX season. And now an important half inning for Rachel Garcia and Team Filler. If they can get 3 outs with only 1 or fewer runs scored by Team Taylor, they will have won yet another inning. Mulipola skies this one left center, no doubt about it. It is a home run for Deja, her second on the season, and it's a 2-run game now.
261 feet for Deja Mulipola.
Last year's champion of the championship season, Deja Mulipola, her first hit of the day.
Deja has such a quiet yet so powerful swing. Not a ton of movement, as we mentioned, really just utilizes the strength that she has in her lower half. Looks like a backdoor curveball that leaks back over the heart of the plate. Gets her barrel out in front and drives that thing out for a solo shot. Nice job by Deja on that pitch. Not easy to get good barrel on that curveball moving away, especially driving it out to the left side. All that power that she's got in that swing. Another run for Team Taylor, and now another pitcher in the circle for Team Filler here.
Yeah, Garcia gives up the homer. That's an earned run allowed, so that'll be a -10 against her, but for the most part, a great day for Rachel Garcia. And now she'll give way. Brooke Yanez will come in, so a lefty replacing a righty here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Going to be a different look, too, as you mentioned, the lefty coming into this ball game, but also Brooke Yanez is going to bring the velocity down quite a bit from what these batters saw from Rachel Garcia. Really relies on her spin and her movement and her pitches. Has already thrown 10 innings here at AUX. 3 walks, 11 strikeouts. Likes to work a lot of those off-speed pitches. Will mix it up in the zone and down. Also with the curveball that she'll throw in there as well.
So nobody out, bottom of the 6th inning. Already 1 run is scored for Team Taylor. Looking for more. Kelsey Stewart-Hunter will bat against Yanez. And folks, we're going to have a chair chat with one of the originals. Victoria Hayward, I'm told, is available. Victoria, how you doing?
Eric, what's up? So good to hear your voice.
We were wondering if you're going to play pepper all game long with Haley McClenny. You flew out to her twice, her first 2 times up, and she flew out to you her first 2 times up. It was amazing how you guys had this kind of karma thing going on.
I'm sure we're both not super happy about that, but we do love each other, so giving each other some love.
I'd imagine that some of that has to do with Haley McClenny making some amazing plays, and we've already seen one already today. Do you guys have maybe competitions within one another because you guys play the same position? Are there competitions within the ball game that we're seeing?
I don't know. Yesterday I had 4 putouts in a row, and that was a personal best for me. So if we're competing on that, but I mean, Halo's pretty hard to outdo. She's pretty phenomenal. So I love any chance I get to play with her. But obviously we've done a lot of competing against each other, and we always seem to, show up and compete our butts off, which is fun.
We're almost done here. We played close to 6 full innings. And unlike what we saw in Series 1, the ball for the most part has stayed in the ballpark. Have you noticed anything different in terms of atmosphere or weather or anything that's kind of helped the offenses or maybe the pitchers out a little bit?
Yeah, the wind is definitely a factor here, and getting a little bit of sun. It'll probably get a little bit worse in Game 2. You saw Jesse kind of battle with it for a sun ball out in foul territory, but it's just an element. So as we get more comfortable, too, with just the day wind, the night wind, the direction the flags are going, you can kind of use it to your advantage a little bit with your positioning. So you'll see outies are playing a little bit more in than normal, which helps those little bloopers not bleed in so often.
Well, we were talking about Haley McClinney's catch, but we've seen you make some incredible catches out in center field, and we're taking a look at the one that you made on Thursday, robbing Morgan Zirkle, I believe, of another hit in that ball game. You were just covering so much ground out in center field. What do you think allows you to get such good reads off of the balls off of the bat and a good first step on those fly balls?
I mean, it's just so much fun. There's so much space in this outfield. It's so big. So I think just getting more comfortable, especially Deja and I have played a lot together, so we're on the same page a lot with pitch calling. So we can kind of like, okay, I think you're going to go here, which would mean this ball will go here. So kind of anticipating, the more you get to know the batters, the more you get to know the pitch callers and the pitchers, you kind of just like anticipate that first step, which just allows you to free it up and go for it in moments like that.
Chance for someone. It's going to be McClinney, and there are now 2 outs as Wiz is retired. Vic, you and Haley McClinney have the glove on the right hand. You're left-handed throwers. I believe all the great defensive center fielders over the years have had that characteristic. Were you ever limited? Did you ever want to play the infield and were forced to play the outfield because you're lefty?
Are you kidding me? I'm a shortstop at heart. My players joke with me. I'm absolutely a shortstop at heart. I will go take ground balls with them. I will try to outcompete our own players at shortstop. So no, I think we're shortstops at heart, and we just got booted to the grass early. So we just make the most of it, laying out, having fun, being the connectors, and just like giving energy. So shortstop at heart, absolutely. My players will laugh when they hear that.
My shortstop self just loves that answer right there. I can only imagine how great you would be over at the shortstop position, making those turning throws across the diamond. I know you could do it.
Oh, yeah.
Nick, we're going to let you go. There's 2 outs here. Thanks for joining us.
Awesome.
We'll talk soon.
Thanks, guys.
All right, it's going to come down to this. Shannon Rhodes with 2 outs and the base is clear. She needs to keep the inning alive if Team Taylor doesn't want to lose another inning. Remember, Team Taylor scored 2 runs in the top of the 6th. Team Taylor's gotten 1 back on the homer by Muli Pola, but this is going to end the frame and give another inning win to Team Filler. So they have now won the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th. To the 7th we go. It's a 2-run lead for Team Filler. Six combined total runs in the Fulton. We've got 6 total runs in our ball game today, and here they are. Madison Chipman.
Rachel Garcia coming up with runners on first and second base, and she drives that pitch all the way out into left center gap, giving her team a couple more insurance runs in this ball game.
Well done. For every run scored during this year's Athletes Unlimited AUX season, Aspiration is committed to planting 10 trees. Stay tuned throughout the season to see how many trees will be planted thanks to Aspiration's support. 6 combined runs, which is a small number compared to what we saw in Series 1. Made it to the the last inning. It's the top of the 7th inning. It'll be the top of the order. Haley McClinney and Issa Urtez. Amanda Lorenz scheduled to bat against Alicia Ocasio. Team Filler has done a good job of scratching and clawing. They were down 1-0 through the first 2 innings, but have since pitched a shutout and won innings 3, 4, 5, and 6. Change up swatted into left field, and that'll get down. Jackson has to play it on a hop. Leadoff single for McClenny.
Shortstop, number 7.
Sunday Night Baseball coming your way. And it is another edition of that great rivalry. The Yankees and the Red Sox, second straight week on Sunday Night Baseball. This time finishing a 3-game series at Fenway Park right here on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Radio. Coverage begins at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific with baseball tonight. Sunday Night Countdown. Anissa Urtez, RBI double her last time up.
Urtez has been swinging the bat really well in this ball game. Had a base hit back in the 4th, and then the double that you mentioned in the 5th. Finds herself in an 0-2 count here to Ocasio. Good take on the outside part of the plate. We're still seeing Ocasio pump in a heavy dose of those off-speed pitches. Starting off the at-bats, getting to 2 strike counts, and still working that pitch.
Into center field, that'll get down off of Hayward's glove. Backing her up beautifully is Jackson, but allowing to take an extra base goes Urtez. So runners on at second and third with nobody out.
Back-to-back 2-strike base hits for Team Filler. Another off-speed pitch outside, and you can see how Urtez just throws her barrel to it and really heads up base running here by Haley McClenny, watching that ball the entire time. As soon as it ricocheted off of the glove of Victoria Hayward out in center field, she was going to take those extra 60 feet, and now 2 runners into scoring position for Team Filler.
And a scary situation for both infielders on the right side of the infield. Kelsey Stewart-Hunter and Kaylee Clifton both have to come in thinking that they'll have to cut off the play at the plate. And with Lorenz hitting, yowza. I wouldn't want to be anywhere close to home plate with Lorenz at the dish. Two balls and a strike to Lorenz, looking for her first hit today. 0 for 3. Hammered and gone. That is a lot of frustration being taken out by Amanda Lorenz. A rare 0 for 3, and she ends it with a 3-run blast on Father's Day.
Amanda said she wanted to get a hit for her dad on Father's Day, but she said, you know what, I'll do you one better. How's a 3-run home run sound? Gets a good pitch here, a pitch up and inside. You can see the location where that pitch was supposed to be. It was supposed to be away. It comes back on the inside part of the plate. And Amanda Lorenz gets every bit on that swing, driving it way out of the yard for a 3-run shot. Home run travel 267 feet. Love seeing the exit velocities off the bat as well. 77.6 miles per hour off the bat on that swing.
So the first 3 batters here in the 7th inning, a single, a double, and a homer. Wouldn't that be something if Taylor Edwards got a triple? Nice play out in left field by Jasmine Jackson. Oh, I was just thinking, I don't know if I've ever seen a natural cycle 4 batters into an inning.
I don't think I have ever seen that either. Taylor Edwards gave it her best effort on that one with the line drive down to left field.
1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. Let's check in with Savannah.
Amanda, I know you said you wanted to give your dad a hit on Father's Day. What do you think he's going to say about a 3-1 run blast?
He's going to be really excited. He asked for a home run, and I was like, what about just a hit, Dad? But I'm glad it came at a great time. I was feeling real negative. My team was real positive, so I'm thankful for them. And happy Father's Day, Dad. Love you so much.
How much does that play into things? Obviously, those first couple at bats are not what you're looking for, but to be able to stay with it, finish the game with a high like that.
Yeah, I just really tried to flush things because at times I can bring last at-bat into the next at-bat. So I was just trying to go 1 for 1. Kept telling my teammates, I can't believe this is my first at-bat of the game. Just trying to stay in the moment and compete.
Whatever it takes to change that conversation in your head.
Yes, go blue.
Thanks, Amanda.
Thank you.
Yeah, these women clearly the best players in the world physically, but it's what they can do mentally. Telling herself that she really wasn't 0 for 3 with a strikeout, but instead this is her first at bat of the game and she hits a homer.
You know, I'm sitting here thinking I'm a little bit upset at my former player self for not thinking of that strategy when I was playing. Just saying, hey, you know what? It's my first at bat of the game. Just thinking of it that way. The mental part of the game, though, is something that all of these athletes talk about quite a bit. Of course, there's always the physical preparation, getting ready for these seasons, but also the mental part of the game and how quickly you can adjust from pitch to pitch, from at-bat to at-bat. Game of softball is a game of failure, so it's how you deal with that failure throughout the length of the season where you really see the great players succeed, not letting themselves get too far down.
Nadia Taylor makes the play. One captain popping out to the other captain. And there are now 2 outs. Nadia Taylor's bunch, they're going to have a busy day. They're going to play the doubleheader. They're going to take on Team Leach. Haven't seen them play so far in Series 2, but they'll get underway following this one. Their captain, Aubrey Leach, currently leading everyone. Well, coming into today, she's since been passed, but Aubrey Leach began the day atop their leaderboard, and she's a first-time captain and well-earned with the way she swung the bat in Series 1. There's Aubrey Leach. The Captain C on the jersey.
Another Tennessee alum, too.
Uh-oh, you don't say.
Yeah. It's really fun watching her swing the bat in Series 1. Somebody who really throughout her college career did a lot of slapping and a lot of bunting, but in Series 1 she was hitting away quite a bit, set one out for a home run over the right field fence.
Jesse Warren got all of that one. A line drive homer for Warren. Second of the year. It's now a 4-run 7th for Team Filler.
Frozen Road for the former FSU Seminole, Jesse Warren.
Jesse Warren 2 for 4 today. And the lead is 8-2 for Team Filler.
I'm pretty sure that home run ball hit the berm beyond center field in about a half of a second. She hit this ball so hard, a drop ball low in the zone, gets her barrel underneath, uses that back leg to get the extension through the zone. Just absolutely smoked out to center field for a solo shot.
So Ocasio having a hard time here in the 7th inning. She's already given up 4 runs, all of them earned. She's going to stay in the game. We're going to have a pinch hitter come on. This is Rachel Garcia's spot in the lineup. And Lily Piper has grabbed a bat.
Pinch hitting for Rachel Garcia in the DP spot.
There's the veteran from Ohio State.
Lily Piper.
Had a couple of hits in Series 1. And we talked about how not a lot of people have stolen bases so far. I believe it's Lily Piper that has the only stolen base so far in AUX.
Piper has been involved with Athletes Unlimited since its very first season, 2020. One of the more popular players. She has never worn a batting glove. Just kind of grabs and grinds. One of my favorite stories about her, just like Nadia Taylor, they both were 2 sport players in college. Not only did they both excel on the softball diamond, but both Lily Piper and Nadia Taylor played Division I basketball.
So impressive and just shows off how athletic these players are. Show off some of that athleticism on defense. We've seen Lily Piper play all over the infield. We see Nadia Taylor over there at third base. We've seen Lily play third base, second base, first base. Played shortstop in college. And as you mentioned, she never changes her glove, no matter what position she's playing on the field. She still uses that infielder's glove.
I think she owns one glove, and that includes all her position gloves and her batting gloves. Doesn't use the batting glove and only has one glove defensively. Into center field, Hayward. And the side is retired, but major damage done by Team Filler. They put 4 runs on the board. Team Taylor's on the ropes. Every moment counts, and for Team Taylor, they're running out of moments. They've only got 3 more outs to play with, and they're down by a score of 8-2. They're in danger of losing the 7th inning. They trail 4-0 here in the 7th inning. Kaylee Clifton takes high, ball 1. Kaylee Clifton, Jasmine Jackson, and then Sydney McKinney scheduled to bat against Brooke Yanez. Clifton has 8 points next to her name, stat points wise today. And that came when she was hit on the left calf back in the 5th inning by Rachel Garcia.
Yeah, that pitch coming in about 68 miles per hour straight into the calf. Glad to see that she's okay. Walked it off down the first baseline, even stayed in to run too. You'll take the 8 points though.
I would
take it.
I don't know, 68 miles per hour off my calf is not worth 8 points for me. Where's the worst place you ever got hit with a pitch?
Ooh. So I never used to wear an elbow guard, and I wore a Jolene Henderson fastball straight off of the elbow. Yes.
And she could hump it up there.
Yes, yes. She threw in the high 60s as well, and I felt every bit of that velocity off of my elbow.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Clifton just trying to get on board, get a rally started. Loud foul. That's been a big story today. For the most part, Team Taylor's big hits have been foul balls, while Team Filler, they've been able to keep it in the field of play.
Really was a pitcher's duel through the first several innings of this ball game, and then the home runs just exploded 4 home runs total on the day between these two teams. A couple of solo shots for Team Taylor.
You know, that's a good sign for Team Taylor. Clifton a great at bat, works the leadoff walk. You know, every moment counts. Everything is tabulated. And it manifests itself on the leaderboard as we speak right now. This is without MVP points. This is without a game win. These leaderboard, it's filled with team players from Team Filler. You got Garcia, Warren, and Filler, 1, 2, and 3. They've all leapfrogged Aubrey Leach, who began the day on the top spot.
It's always interesting to see, too, who ends up getting the MVP points. You'd imagine that Rachel Garcia is going to be up there for MVP points after this ball game with the way that she's pitched and the way that she's hit, driven in a couple of runs.
Pinch runner on it first, Abby Ramirez. Jasmine Jackson pokes it foul on the first pitch. Jackson needs to try someone else. She's put the ball in play twice, both times in the direction of Jessie Warren. Four-run lead for Brooke Yanez and Team Filler here in the 7th inning. Jackson turns on it. Wiggins makes the play. Ramirez has to hustle back to first.
Good play by Wiggins out in right field. That ball was hit hard off the bat of Jasmine Jackson.
No one in the world has played more games in this outfield than Megan Wiggins. I feel comfortable saying that. Many years this was her home field when she played for the Chicago Bandits. Many years this was her visiting field when she played in the NPF. And now many years, 4 of them, that she's been playing Athletes Unlimited softball here in this building.
She really can play all over the outfield, too. We saw her a lot in the NPF over in left field. See her out here in right field. Of course, the ball tails in completely different directions when the ball's hit to left field versus right. But she's got everything well handled out to right.
I bet no one's taken more practice swings in the outfield.
In the outfield.
Megan Wiggins.
I knew where you were going with that.
If you look at her
one.
long enough, she'll be practicing her swing in between pitches.
Take a couple of hops into the swing, too, working on the leg drive out in the grass.
On the ground softly. Nope, McKinney runs too fast. Second infield hit for the rookie McKinney.
She really does have blazing speed down that first base line. If the ball is even remotely hit, or if you have to take more than about 2 steps to try to field the ball, she's going to be safe. Let's take a look at this in real time, just how quickly she gets down that first baseline. Good long strides, too, as she's running. Just stacks up those infield base hits.
Another chance for Victoria Hayward. Vic, her first 2 times up, tried the center fielder. Both times Halen McClenny make a play. Last time up, said, I'm going to go in a different direction. She bounced the single to right field. Oh, and 2. Team Taylor's going to have to turn around and play another game against Team Leach. So I'm sure they would love to get some momentum back into that dugout. They won't switch dugouts. They're going to stay in the third base dugout all day long. Two and 2 to Hayward. She's been a stalwart on the Canadian national team for over a decade now. Beautiful pitch. 2 down.
Really
First
nice
strikeout for Yanez.
Great backdoor curve. Set up that pitch by throwing pitches outside, curveballs away from Hayward, then comes in with the backdoor. You can see how it starts looking like it's almost going to hit Hayward in that left-handed batter's box, and then right at the last minute tails into the strike zone. Gets it called for strike 3.
The captain, Nadia Taylor, trying to keep this game alive. Her first look at Yanez. 0 for 3. Off speed pitch, 0-2. Yanez trying to close the door. And Team Taylor down to their last strike. Team Taylor led this game early. Solo home run by Delaney Wiz in the second inning meant they won the first 2 innings, but it's been all Team Filler since.
The bats picked up quite a bit for Team Filler in those 6th and 7th innings, getting 6 runs in both of those innings.
On the ground to third, Warren. Ball game. Team Filler wins the first game of 2 on this Sunday afternoon here in Rosemont, Illinois, and they win going away. 8-2 is your final score. Team Filler, they win the final 5 innings of the game. And well played. We'll tabulate all the extra points that are added in when we factor in MVP points. That'll be updated when we come back in 20 minutes. We'll be back 3:30 Eastern for more Athletes Unlimited softball. For Madison Shipman and our entire crew, I'm Eric Collins. Thanks for watching.